we already know that the jet streams are changing all over the place. It's could be a bunch of things.
Wait a second, with the jet streams, I mean, there's really no way to predict it at this point now, because could we say because of climate change, climate chaos? I mean, we really don't know what we're gonna get anymore kind of situation. Like, how do you
It's
see it?
it's getting to that point, yeah,
Okay.
where everything's so unpredictable. I mean, just for example, a couple of weeks back, Boulder, Colorado had like 7 inches of snow overnight,
Yeah,
and
no.
then it when it shot right back up to 70.
Yeah, that kind of situation. Yeah, it's just like these ridiculous extremes. But still, I guess we're still getting warmer overall, but oh
I
my
mean,
goodness.
I did see an overall hemispheric map, or at least of North America, and it's kind of interesting. I don't know where this is coming from, but if you look at the map, right through the middle, base of the Canadian shield, it's like really cooler than average. But if you go to the, you know, to the British Columbia side, go all the way up into Alaska, up into the Arctic Ocean, onto the Eurasian side, it's hotter than average. So it's like, so where did this cold spot come from? It's just really weird.
Yeah, like we're in June. I don't know,
It, it,
Jim.
I saw that and I was just like, I was just trying to figure out what could be the physical mechanisms to explain this. And I was just like, what the hell?
So simply, I mean, this is just climate chaos. It's just chaos theory in itself. I mean,
And then, of course, you've got the worsening drought conditions in the Southwest. I mean, it's actually going to get much worse.
yeah, it's pretty bad
It's at
now. The drought, it's just supposed to get worse.
the projection I'm seeing is it's supposed to get extremely bad. Um, of course, with that comes, no water, fire threats, of course. I mean, a fire season now in Southern Cal is like 365 days a year now. At this point, I mean, seriously. I mean, Lake Mead is now so low in its levels that um, it may soon not be able to generate electricity.
Yeah.
And if that becomes the case, holy shit.
And they're already getting like extreme temperatures out in the Southwest, like the Mojave area and like Las Vegas, all those areas. Like there's, it's like, yeah, summer just started and it's already like record breaking. So,
It's very warm. Then of course you see some with temperatures like 50 C, which is like 127 or some damn thing like that in the Middle East and India. It's just, and then when you couple that, especially in India, where it's also humid, then you start running to the wet bulb temperature, the temperature above which humans cannot even, even though they may perspire, the perspiration is insufficient to keep their bodies cool. So then you run the risk of hyperthermia because usually when you perspire, the air is either dry with a little bit of breeze, it whisks away the perspiration. That has a cooling effect. Well, if you're above the wet bulb temperature, that's not going to do diddly squat.
yeah, I mean, the temperature is so extreme and humid that you're just gonna eventually die if you're out too
Yeah,
long. Or if you're not in like air conditioning, and that's where like India comes into mind and like Bangladesh because they don't have the infrastructure to withstand these types of temperatures. So,
no. But keep in mind also with air conditioners, I mean, first of all, air conditioners are energy hogs. I mean, they're just, they just use a lot of energy. But the principle of an air conditioner is it simply takes heat from one location and dumps it to another location. So if you're running an AC in your room, say for example, you're taking the heat that's in your room and dumping it outside. So you cool down the inside place, but you make the outside hotter.
there you go. Right. So everything, no matter what you do, there's no escaping this in the long term.
But that's how air conditioners work. They just move heat from one place to another. I mean, it's like people saying, well, let's just remove the carbon from the atmosphere and let's just remove it from the oceans. And where are you going to put it? You got to put it somewhere.
Send it off to the sun. Send our trash off to the sun too. I don't know.
I mean, really, they come up with these things. It's like, you obviously don't understand physics. Even basic tenets, thermodynamics. Hello.
It's just, unfortunately, no, it's pretty dire, everything. I mean, the Lake Mead thing stuck out again. Just like the fact that I think it dropped 40 feet in like a year. Yeah, it's supposed eventually we're not going to be able to live near these areas, or these areas that are like propelled by like electricity and modern technology. We're going to be at the mercy of Mother Nature, I should say.
We are headed. People don't want to acknowledge that. I see some small circles of people acknowledging this, those who, I don't know, paying attention. But in general, the people around the planet just don't want to acknowledge how dire the situation is, and that we are basically just heading. We're driving, at 80, 93 miles an hour or some damn thing like that, right off the cliff. And it's like those old cartoons, you see the Road Runner, the beep beep Road Runner steps to the side and the coyote just keeps running and he's well off the cliff and he's still running, and then all of a sudden he realizes no ground underneath them, and then he looks down and right, and you see the cartoon and finally hits the bottom. That's where we're at.
I know. In a comical sense, we're screwed.
We're in free fall, and we're waiting to hit the bottom.
Right. And that's how it feels, because like there's no good news anymore, especially when it comes to the environment. If anything, it's like, well, this is happening, but status as usual. And the fact that these oil companies and stuff are actually like drilling even more. Like they're lying, this whole greenwashing issue that people are talking about now. How like these companies are saying they're doing green technology type stuff, but apparently no, which was kind of obvious since they lied to the public for like 50 plus years about, that old thing.
I mean, we've got the emails, or at least it wasn't email back in the 70s, but we have the correspondence back then, where even then they knew the dangers of burning fossil fuels and what adding CO2 to the atmosphere means. We've got the correspondence, but they consciously decided to embark on a campaign of disinformation. Oh, there's doubt among the scientists. Oh, we really don't know what humans doing. Oh, the Earth has warmed and cooled in the past before. Oh, this and oh, that. It's just like, shut the fuck up already.
Right? I know.
I mean, a scientist here at UAF. I mean, he's a professor emeritus now, and really, really super nice guy. We're kind of not doing too well health wise these days, but he was one of the first scientists. I mean, the idea of CO2 warming the planet goes back to the 1860s in all seriousness. And the Swedish scientist Arrhenius postulated that like 1903 or something like that. But John Kelly, this professor, he actually was one of the ones who actually started measuring CO2 in the atmosphere.